Hey winners! Rick, that was for you. Hey, we are all about discipling one another to reach and raise the next generation to live out God's truth.
Woo!
I know you were saying that with me. I know you were. All right. Hey, this week we are talking about groups meet weekly. I know what you're thinking. That's self-explanatory. But give me a few minutes and let me talk about it. So one thing I want to read is from Hebrews chapter 10, some very familiar scripture. But Hebrews chapter 10, the 24th verse, the Bible says, "And let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works, not neglecting to meet together, as in the habit of some, but encouraging one another, and all the more as you see the day drawing near." Hey, don't you need weekly encouragement? I know I do. I tell you, if I ever miss our Bible fellowship group, I always am thrown off the rest of the week. So I need that weekly encouragement. I need that joy of authentic community every single week. And so it's essential that we meet every single week, regardless of what kind of group that we have. So, my dad's a pastor, and one of the things that he used to always say when I was a kid, and I've heard him say it so many times, is we are all about one missed Sunday from being out of church completely for good. So I think it's really, really essential for us to continue to come back every single week and meet weekly. And there's a couple of things we can do to make sure that we do that. So one of the things I have written up here is we need co-leaders. We need to identify and develop co-leaders within our class. I met with one of our group leaders yesterday, and he was telling me how he was kind of describing to me the class and the personality of the class and everything that was going on with it. It's a great, wonderful class, but he doesn't have a co-leader. And he was asking me, he was saying, how can I find a co-leader? I need to find a co-leader. Well, one of the biggest things, of course, we can do is we got to identify. Have you asked anybody? Have you gone up and personally said, hey, I've been praying for you. I think you would be great at this. And sometimes all somebody's looking for is just a simple little request. You would be surprised at how many people are sitting in your class right now that have the spiritual gift of teaching, and all they need is just to be asked. And then, of course, they just need to be developed, taught by you. We have some of, and all of you are, some of the best teachers that we have and facilitators in these groups. And we just need to identify and develop those leaders and have those co-leaders because we need that. We need that within all of our groups. Another thing we need is we need to have planned curriculum. Some of the biggest things that I hear that maybe are some of the frustrations is we have kind of this Christmas morning type teaching. You show up and you open your Bible and like, I don't really know what's going to be talked about today. So having a planned curriculum, maybe a planned series that you're going through, and some of those suggestions could be you could do a marriage series. Marriage series are so applicable and so easy to do. Right now in our Bible fellowship class, we're going through the love and respect. And even though my wife and I, we've been through that several times before, it's always good to be reminded. So a marriage series is always very easy to do. Maybe you're doing a finance series, or maybe you're going through a book of the Bible. Some of the best Bible fellowship times that I've had have been going through a book of the Bible where we've picked it and we've just broken it down by each verse throughout the entire chapter or throughout the entire book. And you learn so much whenever you do that. So it's always big. For those of you that use the Explore the Bible curriculum, those are actually going to be in your classes or your group meeting areas this coming Sunday. So check out those. And if any of you don't have a series or curriculum that you're currently using, email me, email Rick, email Miss Samantha. We'll be happy to get you some suggestions, maybe something that you can use. We're always looking for new things, new ideas to be able to use for these curriculums, and so we can definitely help you out with all of that. And then the last thing is we want to have scheduled teaching rotations. I know when Rick and I, we sit down with our other co-leader, Matt, we sit down and we go to lunch about once a quarter, and we get the calendar out and we go through each one of the Sundays and we say, we're going to cover this between this Sunday and this Sunday or this month, or we're going to go over maybe a marriage series. It's going to take us about 11 weeks, 12 weeks. And then Rick, you're going to teach this week, Andrew, Matt, and then we get that scheduled rotation. That way it's much easier. Whenever we have co-leaders, it's so much easier to say, hey, you step up and teach this week, and I'll teach the next, and I'll teach the next, because a lot of times when we, especially here we are getting into spring break, or we're getting into the summer, very often, you're not expected to be there every single Sunday. We want you to be, but we also know that you need time away with your family. Got mission trips coming up. So it's always a great opportunity for our co-leaders to step up and to teach those opportunities as well. So one thing I want to point out, this Sunday is a huge Sunday in the life of our church. We are affirming our name that God has blessed us with, so we're so excited about that. One thing I want to give you before you go is I was talking to one of our group leaders yesterday, and he was telling me how his senior adult class is so excited about this new name. They're so excited about Christ Place Church, and so every single one of them, they've talked about it, they've prayed about it, and they're so excited to affirm it this coming Sunday. So he had a wonderful idea. They're actually going to meet before, and they've all agreed to go to one service together, and they're going to meet, and they're going to sit almost at the front of the church, and they're all going to sit in a big group together, and the moment they give that opportunity to affirm the name, they're all going to affirm it together as one unified class. And I thought, how awesome is that to see that authentic community that they have established to where they're going to do something like this and to make a bold statement to do it together. Hey, I love you, and I can't wait to see you Sunday.